Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel in the first place. Today we have a multiple character ex-listener. It's BNHA one-shots by virtual_hug on Wattpad. The link will be in the description. Go check them out. Izuku Midoriya. Deku, how do you get your hair so soft? You asked your boyfriend. You two had been cuddling when you curiously tried to run a hand through his hair. It didn't work since his hair was messy with lots of knots. But from your attempts, you realized that his hair was really soft and fluffy. I don't know, I was born with it like that, he said, blushing as you continued to play with it. Can I brush it? I'll get all the knots out, you said excitedly. Izuku was a bit startled by your sudden enthusiasm, but nodded in agreement to your suggestion. You quickly ran off somewhere in your house to get a hairbrush. Izuku blushed while looking down. He enjoyed you playing with his hair. It filled him with a calming sense. Alright, I'm back, he smiled, sitting behind him. Stay still and tell me if I accidentally pull on it too hard, you said, gently beginning to run the brush through his hair. As you did so, you untangled a few knots. Izuku sighed in content, closing his eyes while you ran your fingers and the brush through his hair. You laughed since you could tell he was enjoying this. Alright, I think I got them all out, you said after a while of brushing, running your fingers through his hair again. Really? Thanks, listener. I never even put that much effort into brushing my hair. Izuku smiled towards you. Now that your hair is not free, I can play with it more, you said, laying down and facing him again. Izuku was sure this was heaven. Katsuki Bakugou. Katsuki didn't normally let you play with his hair, even though whenever you tried, he would blush a lot, but now was your only chance. When Katsuki was asleep, you had stayed the night at his house since your parents were out for the weekend. You reached your hand out and carefully touched one of the spiked parts of his hair. Quickly, you brought your hand back, hoping he didn't wake up. Luckily, he was still asleep. You reached up again, gently running your fingers through his hair. It was surprisingly soft, and there weren't any knots. Bakugou grunted, pulling you a bit closer to him. You held your breath, scared that he woke up. He hadn't, so you continued playing with the bits of his hair. As you did, he hadn't seemed to have woken up. Why doesn't he let me play with his hair more often? It's so soft, you thought, noticing that you had messed it up a bit. You chuckled, trying to fix some of the spikes back to normal. Listener, what are you doing? Bakugou asked tiredly. Nothing. You blushed, immediately moving your hand away from his hair. He moved around a bit, coming to rest his head on your chest. Keep doing that, it helps me sleep, he said. You looked at him curiously. Normally, he got mad at you if you touched his hair, but he seemed completely opposite now. Okay, Katsuki, he smiled, continuing to mess with his hair as he fell back asleep. Eventually, you fell asleep with him. Shoto Todoroki. Your hair is so interesting, Shoto, you said. Todoroki had come over to do homework with you. Soon enough, you got bored and began messing with his hair while he finished homework. His multicolored hair had always been interesting to you. Despite the few messy strands that occasionally would slightly ruin it, his hair was always perfectly split down the middle. How is my hair interesting? He asked in a dull tone. He glanced up with his eyes, even though that didn't help him see you. It splits so perfectly, not a strand of different colored hair on either side. Are you sure you don't dye it? You asked, gently forming pigtails with the two sides. No, I was born with my hair like this, he replied, continuing to do his homework. Your hair is so soft too. What products do you use? You asked. Whatever my sister buys, he shrugs. You smiled, suddenly having an idea of what to do. You ran off, grabbed a few hair ties you knew were laying around, and messed with Todoroki's hair. You put it in pigtails, a man bun, braids, anything you could do. Each new hairstyle you did, you took a picture of. Meanwhile, Todoroki had finished his homework, feeling relaxed with your gentle ways of brushing out his hair with your hands. Listener, finish your homework too, so we can spend more time together, Todoroki said, realizing you had yet to finish the assignment. Later, I want to keep playing with your hair, he said, reaching a hand out. No, he moved away from you. Finish your homework. You huffed, returning to your seat next to him and picking up your pencil. Fine. Thank you. He kissed your cheek. You smiled. I can keep playing with your hair after I'm done, right? Sure, go ahead. He sighed, shaking his head. Eijirou Kirishima. You liked when Kirishima had his hair down. While it wasn't all that soft, you enjoyed playing with it like it was. He used a lot of products in his hair, obviously, so you didn't get much of a chance to do that unless it was down. Kiri, can I stay in your dorm tonight? You asked hopefully. Sure thing. You can watch TV. I need to take a shower. Training was hardcore today, he said. Alright, you replied, smiling happily as you walked with him to his dorm. Oh, that felt great, Kirishima said, stepping out from the bathroom. You left your hair down, you smiled. Yeah, I'm too tired to put it back up, he said, sitting down beside you. We don't really have any homework tonight, actually. You can probably sleep over, he suggested. Yeah, that sounds nice, he said, wrapping his arms around you. You lay down with him on the bed. Good night, listener, he said, resting his head on your chest. You happily ran your fingers through his hair, making him fall asleep quicker. Denki Kaminari. Kaminari, let me style your hair, you said, walking up to him with a bunch of hair products in your hand. No, get away from me with that, he yelled. Please, just this once. I promise it won't be bad, you begged. Fine, but if you ruin my hair, you're paying to fix it, he said, sitting down in front of you. Yes, thank you so much, you said. First, you had to brush it out. Then you got some hair gel. You started laughing as it got stuck standing up where you positioned it. Denki wasn't so sure what you were doing, but he enjoyed the feeling of your hands through his hair. He closed his eyes, ignoring your laughter. Alright, done. You giggled after a little bit. Let me see. What did you do? He screeched as you held up a mirror to show him. His hair was spiked into a fanned mohawk, with a small amount of hair left on the side slicked down. I gave you a mohawk, you laughed. How do I get rid of it? He yelled, feeling it to see that the gel had already dried. You'll have to take a shower and hope the gel washes out later, you shrugged. Why did I let you do this? He whined, putting his head into his hands. Tenya, Iida. You need a haircut, Tenya, he said, looking at his hair. Listener, please refer to me more formally when we're at school, Iida replied. Everyone knows we're dating at this point. I don't know what you're still trying to hide, but fine, Iida, he sighed, reluctantly doing what he said. Iida felt guilty for clearly ruining your mood, so he stayed quiet while continuing to read his book. After a minute, he thought through your words. I didn't think my hair was that long, he said, running a hand through his hair. Haven't you noticed? It's almost entirely covering your ears. I liked it better when it was shorter, he said, also running a hand through his hair. Iida blushed at both your comment and your actions. He felt like an irresponsible class representative, thinking he was showing a lot of PDA in class. Everyone around could honestly care less, though. I'll keep that in mind, but please refrain from physical contact like this in class. But your hair is so soft, he said, messing it around a bit. Listener, don't do that, he gasped, trying to fix his hair. Whatever, but please refer to me more formally at school. You mocked him. Don't mock your class representative, Iida said. People began returning to their seats, seeing his break was over. I'll talk to you later, Tenya, you smirked, returning to your seat as he began waving his arms around. Alright, so that's the end of this one. I hope you enjoyed. Music link, fanfic link, Discord link, and thumbnail art link will all be in the description. Go check those out. I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, whatever, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye!